Hello. So we're back with part two, I guess, of the talk show for today. So we're going to start off with question 5 that we have here for our guests. Again, Anthony Serluca, Sam Kuzu, and I'm Trent Orr. So question 5 is, in these pieces of, I guess, poetry or films or whatever you could call them, is there an isolated protagonist?
Is this a question for me, Trent?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I was looking at you.
All right. Well, in my opinion, in the short story, there is no isolated protagonist because nobody really tried to help Miss Emily with her mental problems, which eventually led to her poisoning of the helpless black man in her household, Homer Barron. So, and nobody ended up finding him after all those years when he was on that bed in that locked room upstairs in her attic. So that really is what I think.
All right, so same question to you, Sam. Is there an isolated protagonist?
Yes, indeed there is. So, Anthony, I respectfully disagree with you on that topic because Homer is the isolated protagonist. Because he did make an attempt to help Emily in her time of despair, but when he went to her house, he then never came out. He was in there forever and was pronounced dead.
My only counter is that he wasn't really like a good or bad person. Like that's kind of why I led towards the answer of being no. So I respect your answer.
So we're going to move on to question 6. Thanks, Sam, for the answer. Is there a gloomy atmosphere in the movie? We're going to start with Sam, actually, on this one.
All right, cool. Thank you, Trent. Yes, indeed there is. Because, you know, when you think of down and out or spooky or scary, you think of deaths in, you know, a scary house or discoveries of dead bodies. And in fact, in this piece, all 3 of those things are, you know, they're visible there. All 3 of those things occur. There's deaths, there's a spooky house, and there are discoveries of dead bodies. So that is, I would say yes.
All right, we're going to pass the same question over to you, Anthony. Is there a gloomy atmosphere in the movie or piece?
I would have to agree with Samuel on this one and say yes that there is. Because when the people went in Miss Emily's house after she died into the locked room, as I mentioned before, there was, as they found, the dead body of Homer Barron, which is pretty much, I mean, Sam said it all. It's a gloomy atmosphere right then and there.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess my kind of part to chime in here would be throughout the books, a lot of the words and the scenarios that are set up by the author or whoever the narrator is supposed to be really lead into it being a gloomy atmosphere, just the spooky feeling throughout the entire experience of reading or watching the film. So we're going to move on to question 7 here. And the question 7 is, are there any nightmarish qualities of outwardly civilized minds or anything similar to that? And we're going to start with Anthony on this.
All right. Well, my answer is that Miss Emily herself is already as crazy-minded as she could possibly be, with the fact that she literally purchased poison to kill Homer Barron that she had in her house isolated for all those years, and pretty much until after she died, no one found him. So yeah, that's.
All right, yeah, good answer. So we're going to, again, same question is going to be passed right on over to Sam, and that is, are there any, nightmarish qualities of the outwardly civilized mind?
Indeed, yes, because Emily has a messed up mind in general. She's not mentally stable, and that's evident throughout the film, the production, in the actions that she performs and the things she does. So I would say yes on that one.
All right, and again, I chime in again. I do feel like there are these nightmarish qualities throughout. I guess Emily would be the main character that these are really found in, so I agree with both of you. So question 8, is there a quest of triumph for the ideal or pursuit of the enemy?
You know, I'm going to say no on that one because, you know, going into this, nobody knew that Emily was crazy. Like, Homer went to go help her, but he had no clue she was crazy or what was wrong with her. He was just going there to help her.
Oh.
So, you know, no one knew she was crazy, so I'm going to have to say no.
All right, thank you for that, Sam. And so the eighth question for you, Anthony: is there a quest of triumph or triumph for the ideal or pursuit of the enemy?
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with Sam on that one and say yes, because I guess like the sort of town council, when the neighbor reported the rotting smell to the town office, they actually, as said in the piece, they went and tried to find out what the smell was coming from Miss Emily's house, but they never really identified what the actual smell was in the middle of the night that was, so it was a lot harder to see, therefore to visualize or like come to any conclusions. So I'm gonna have to say like that was, I guess, kind of a quest for an ideal pursuit of an enemy. Like I mean, kind of.
All
As
right,
much as
so
it really wasn't, but
thank you very much for that. So we're going to go into part 3 here, which will be the conclusion. So stay tuned for that.